Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's Yasmin here. Just about to go live. Well, I'm actually going live to say hello to everybody. How are you? I feel, I'm just looking at myself. I've stopped wearing makeup because I had a rash. I actually had a rash here, which I thought was my third eye opening. I have no idea what the GP thought. I rang him and he said, don't worry about it, it'll go away. It started off as a thin line, then it became this sort of bigger thing, and now it seems to have gone away. But I decided I wouldn't wear any makeup for a few days. So I feel that I'm doing that thing that you do in lockdown. Did you see that picture in the first lockdown, which was of the Mona Lisa? And in the first one, she's like all gorgeous, and then in the second one, she's like slightly frazzled. I think it was March, normal. April, slightly frazzled, and then May, her hair was going everywhere. I feel I'm getting a bit towards the May end of the Mona Lisa in lockdown spectrum. Whatever. We're still here, and that's, for that we can be grateful. Yes, exactly. Lulu's saying hello from lockdown and fires in Western Australia. They've got the double whammy at the moment. Fires and lockdown, so let's send them all lots of love. Now, who won this? I know who won it, and I can't remember how to say the surname, so I still don't want to say it. I will say it tomorrow. Lee says, I stopped wearing makeup when I was 18. It's funny because I basically didn't start wearing makeup until about 5-10 years ago. I never wore makeup, and then I discovered it and I was like, oh, makeup, where have you been all my life? And then I discovered hair straighteners. I was like, oh my God, hair straighteners, where have you been all my life? I was late to the party. So how is everybody? We just did chanting. It was really good. I kind of did it a bit backwards. Normally we offer up our salutations to the goddess and to my teacher, which we did at the end, which was a bit strange, but actually felt really nice. Did a bit of a reading from this book, which is called The Way of Vastu by Robin and Michael Mastro. So if you're interested in Vastu, which is basically Indian feng shui, it was interesting. Celia says, I look fab and my energy's intact. Yes, well, thank you. I feel good. I've told you all how I know I'm making this all about me at the moment. I don't know. I'm just chit-chatting. I'm about to talk about Mercury retrograde, but I did get a Fitbit. And as you know, I think I got it like a couple of days after Christmas. And it's helped me actually track my sleep. And it's made me focus on getting enough sleep. And it's really helping me become aware of my sleep hygiene, and I have actually started I think I had 7 hours last night, which is a massive improvement on the 5 hours I was getting for quite some time. So that's really good. It's just made me a bit more responsible about my energy at the end of the day and all that. So there you go. So I'm glad everybody loved chanting. If you want to know how to sign up for chanting, it's free. We do it every morning about 40 minutes before now, so 10:30 a.m. UK time. It's about I think it's 9:30 p.m. Australian Sydney time, Melbourne time, Queensland time, Tassie time, and maybe South Australia time. And I think it's like something really crazy, like 5:30 in the morning, New York time. But we do have at least one person from New York every day, which is my lovely chanting pal Sally Jenkins-Jones, who's probably here right now, maybe. And so there you go. So I wanted to talk a little bit about more about Mercury retrograde, because for one thing, I was quite surprised that nobody knew that I have a book about it. And I thought, well, I must tell you again, I have a book about Mercury retrograde for anyone who's interested. It was written with Kim Farnell, and it was, the idea came purely from the fact that Mercury retrograde is such a well-known phenomena out in the world. And yet, there are so many misconceptions about it, especially to do with the fact that it's, bad luck or bad. And as I was saying yesterday, it's not bad. It's just really sometimes very, very annoying and frustrating. My my favorite, well, I've got two favorite Mercury retrograde stories. I'll just tell you, I'll tell you one of them today, and maybe I'll mention one tomorrow. But the one I mention less is, now I can't remember the second one. Lost my mind. I can remember the first one. Oh yeah, that's right. My slightly less favorite Mercury retrograde story, but it was actually interesting because it happened when this book was being published, and I was doing a kind of a email thing for people, trying to teach them about the cycle and all this. And it was the day of publication. It was about 10 p.m. And I remember it was late because I was actually going into a studio here in London to do a live cross to one of the morning shows in Australia. And the one that has Sonia and, is it Sonia and David? And anyway, so I was about to go in and see them, and there was a taxi coming to pick me up and all that. And I had this email ready to go saying, okay, my book comes out tomorrow. Yay, my book comes out tomorrow. Grab your copy. To 96,000 people. And I'd been talking about the positive side of Mercury retrograde, which is it's always a really good chance to, as Tamarin just said, reset a new path, move forward in the right direction, change your direction, revisit plans, redo something, revisit, rethink, re-edit, and so on. And so I've been focusing on the positive because that's just the person I am, and that was also the point of the book. But you can't deny that Mercury retrograde can be annoying. And so what happened was I had this final email ready to go out to everyone going, my book is now on sale, yay! And I sent it to 96,000 people, and all the links were dead. All the links were dead. And I've told this story before. it was when we were living in our one-bedroom flat before we bought this place where we are now, and I just went mental. I remember my son was in the room and my husband were in the room, and I still regret to this day behaving so badly in front of my son, but I was like pounding the table, oh my God, and I was just mental. So to me it was always a little message from Mercury to say, well, yes, you know, Mercury retrograde is a great time to, I like what you said, Tamarin, reset your path. That's a really good one. You know, change your direction, rethink, revise, revisit, re-edit. But you still have to remember the Mercury retrograde glitch possibilities. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, okay? The messenger of the gods. And Mercury is a trickster and has a sense of humor. So, you know, sometimes you'll get little things that, you know, the messenger of the gods think is amusing, and that was what happened to me, so that was fine. Anyway, it all worked out fine in the end. A lot of people are saying, can they get the Mercury retrograde book bonuses if they've already bought the book? Yes, you can. So the book would have come out, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago, and I don't know if we had the bonuses up then or not, but we certainly have them up now. So if you have the book and you bought it online, just try and find the email, but I'm not sure if we've done it yet, but we are about to add a thing like we had for the diary, which is if you've bought the book and you've lost the receipt, just take a selfie of yourself with the book and upload it in a particular place, and then you'll get, I can't remember exactly what we've got. I'm pretty sure we've got a chant to Saraswati, which is great because Saraswati is basically the goddess associated with Mercury because she's the goddess of language amongst other things, and Mercury is very much about that. Same if you got the book as a gift, you know, you could just put a picture of yourself there. And what else do we have? I think I made a little video. It's a bit homemade. I probably should re-record it, but it was just me in the living room, basically trying to show you how to work out where Mercury is retrograde in your chart anytime. But that said, if you have the book, you'll see this, but at the end of every chapter, like, so right now Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. So at the end of every bit like that, it says how Mercury retrograde is affecting you. And it will say, so for example, if you're, if you're, say, Gemini rising, then it's in your 10th house, see page 143, and then it will give you an explanation for what Mercury retrograde in your 10th house means, or your 7th house, or your 3rd house, or whatever. So it's all in there, but it's also a way just for you to kind of understand it in a slightly deeper way. So you're not just having me saying, oh, well, look at page 43 or whatever. It gives you like the tools for how to work it out for real. So instead of just doing it. And there was something else. I think, oh, you get access to my free 3-part astrology introduction for anyone who's interested in learning astrology, because I figure people who are interested in Mercury retrograde may have an interest in learning astrology. So there you go. That was kind of what I wanted to say, but I also wanted to say this. Just oh, Deborah Green, do you get the bonuses if you have a Kindle version? Yes, you get the bonuses if you have a Kindle version, if you have a print version, if you bought it in a bookshop, if you got it as a present from a friend. We're not being mean to anyone. The whole idea, it's not just bonuses. The idea is to support anyone who buys the book and say, you know, here's a little bit more understanding. Here's a bit more of an explanation. Here's a bit more support on your journey to understanding Mercury retrograde, to understand it for real, you know. So there you go. That's basically it. So who would like a card? Who would like a card? Who would like a card? Because it's time to do a card. I don't have any Mercury retrograde cards. Maybe one day. Here we go. I'm writing my new cards, and they're about the moon and making dreams come true. All right, we have a card. Oh, so think of your question. What is your question? What are you too scared to do? It's a bit of a leading question. If you're watching this, you're watching it for a reason. The universe has brought you here for a reason, to hear the message in this card. Are you ready? Here we go. In 5, 4. Think of your question. Think of your question. Say it out loud. Say your question out loud or write it down so there's no messing around. All right. What's your question? Could just be life guidance. Say it out loud. North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. In other words, do the thing that feels a bit awkward to do, but you know you should. That you know you want to. There is a strong feeling when you get this card that it's time to leave the past behind somehow, because you are headed in the right direction. If you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need to get going towards doing the thing that scares you within reason. This card is all about living your life purpose, which is possibly what you've asked about. It's urging you to dare to do something different with your life and your direction, to take action. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live? If you finally find the courage to make the leap, there's a good chance you'll come to ask yourself, why did I wait so long? Ta-da! I think when I'm making my new cards, I'm going to read them all out loud like this, because it makes me see how they work. Attuned to the moon. I know I'm headed in the right direction. So that's basically your affirmation. I know I'm headed in the right direction. And additional meanings for this card. You're headed for something which feels like destiny. You may need to face a fear and get over it. Time to stop obsessing about someone or something. Stand on your own 2 feet. You've got this. So there you go, the Moonology cards, the best-selling oracle cards in the whole wide world, which is just mind-blowing to this person here. So there you go. Alrighty. So on that note, I'm going to go and have my weekly team meeting that I have every week with my fantastic team who are all over the world. We are mainly going to be talking about the Moonology Manifesting Challenge, which we have coming up. And tomorrow I will give you a place where you can sign up to go on the wait list for the challenge. It's free, by the way. It's free. We've decided to make it free. It's just about teaching people a bit about some of the secrets of manifesting. Let's put it like that. Okay. So have a beautiful day. Oh, Jenny Shaughnessy, I feel you, baby. She says she needs to let go of her fear of going out and somebody else breathing. I'm a bit like that as well. I just tell you one thing, for those of you who think we're worrying too much. So yesterday, we were going to see some friends. Like, we're in complete lockdown here, and you're not really supposed to see people, like, except, you know, widely socially distanced, and you can walk with one person. But we were seeing some friends on Christmas night, and so we bought presents for each other, and we said, oh, come on, should we just swap the presents? And the idea was going to be that they were going to come and stand at our front gate, and we would be at the front door. So we would have been probably, I don't know, 15 feet apart, maybe more, maybe 20 feet apart. I don't know how long that is. And we would have kind of leaned over and swapped our presents. And because we didn't do it on Christmas night, because Christmas was cancelled here in the UK in terms of seeing friends, so we did have a nice Christmas. Anyway, yesterday my friend wrote to me just before, you know, like we were saying, see you tonight, looking forward to actually just waving at you from the front step. And they're on some program where they get tested once a week, and their little girl has COVID-19. So there you go. She's fine. She's asymptomatic. But, you know, they might all have COVID. And so, you know, it was just another reminder that you cannot take anything for granted. You just can't. And if you are a conspiracy theorist or whatever, and you think that this is all a big hoax, as I always like to say, don't judge me, please. I don't judge you. I hope you're right. I hope it's all a hoax. But we'll see, because it doesn't seem to be so far. But if you're right, if it's a hoax, yay. No one will be happier than me. So no judgment. I'm just saying she's 12, she's had a positive COVID diagnosis. And, you know, we didn't know. And we would have all seen each other last night. We would have probably worn masks. Well, we would have worn masks. And we would have been quite far apart, but we would have been swapping stuff, you know, like who knows? Who knows? So there you go, a little cautionary tale. All right, so on that note, yeah, no, I think she's all right. She's a sweet little girl. She's amazing. And you know what she loves? She loves oracle cards. There you go. All right, mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful Tuesday or Tuesday night or whatever you're having. See you tomorrow.